You are what you eat, so consume media wisely is what I've decided will be the title of this video. And I wanted to make this video because it's an important lesson that I learned while growing up and seeing just how influential certain creators are, shows are, memes are, the type of discourse you're exposed to, and the political pipelines you're exposed to are as well. I think people who stay stuck in a bubble and refuse to allow any diversity of thought or opinion always end up worse off for it, and their inability to understand or relate to others who are outside of their bubble of thought makes them a less empathetic and less knowledgeable person overall. And that's not good. And then you also have so many people whose media diet is completely full of junk food to the point where they struggle to consume what you could call, I guess, media's fruits and vegetables. So, sitting down to read a book and really analyze it and understand it is not something they can do anymore. Watching a movie without being on their phone simultaneously is not something they can do anymore. Doing pretty much anything at all without the background noise of YouTube or Netflix or Twitch is not something they can do anymore. I was definitely like that as well. I definitely had a background noise problem and always needed some form of media playing, even if I was only half paying attention at best. A few years ago, I did 1 week without YouTube, Spotify, streaming sites, or anything like that, just to try to reset my palate. By day 7, when I was free to return to noise, I took my dog for a walk and played music like how I always do, and it made the music sound so much better than ever. Although I still enjoy background noise, I'm much more intentional about what I'm listening to. It's not as passive as it used to be, and I'm pretty engaged with it now. And I don't rely on it as much as I used to. So the phrase "you are the company you keep" is very true, whether people want to admit it or not. And unfortunately, it's very true even when it comes to the creators we follow online. Although they're not in our physical presence, we are still consuming so many hours upon hours of their speech patterns, opinions, likes and dislikes, vernacular, and everything in between. Probably even more than you might be getting that information from people you actually do spend time with at, say, school or at work. So you're definitely being heavily influenced by the online company you keep. There's so many phrases I picked up over the years from videos I watched like years ago that I still quote to this day. You may have words or expressions you weren't initially keen on saying until you started engaging with certain communities who use those words all the time, and now you find yourself saying it too. For example, I find that when I'm watching certain things, I end up swearing more than I ever used to. You may end up using like different insults or even slurs and things like that that you had not used before. But because content we're consuming is altering your palate, you're getting like used to the taste of those words, I guess you could say. And it's these little things that add up and make a big impact on the trajectory of the people we end up becoming, the way we communicate with each other, and just so many things overall. You could gather literally the exact same TikToks and put it in a compilation to post online, right? And you label one video, let's say body positivity compilation, and the other video, you label it fat acceptance cringe compilation. Not only will they attract different audiences, and that will be reflected by the comment section, they will also lead to different types of videos being recommended after the fact, and those will take you to the ideals of different groups and political parties. So the way you communicate, the phrases you use, all of this not only changes the company that you keep, it also changes the company that you will continue to attract later on and the type of people that you're going to continue to gravitate towards. Don't you think that that matters? Of course it does. You know, you have girls seeing overly sexual content from other girls that's getting them lots of money and attention, and there's little to no pushback or critical thought. And so, because that's the media they're consuming, they end up doing it too, when that's not a decision they would have made had they not been exposed to so much sexualized content. I remember years ago when OnlyFans was like really blowing up, there would be so many videos with like millions of views of girls saying, "Here's how much money I made on OnlyFans, here's how you can get started too." Had those videos not been recommended to you, you wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have even considered it. But now you're like, oh, maybe I should. You have young men just trying to get a few tips on how to talk to girls, but they end up going down an entire red pill rabbit hole, all because they just wanted to know how long they should wait to text a girl they like. It's kind of scary how simple things can turn into a whole new lifestyle and completely change your input and output. But of course, it's not all bad things, though. There are still plenty of people out there consuming lots of media, fruits, and vegetables and are much healthier because of it. This is something that I've been trying to be intentional about on my digital minimalism journey that I have been partaking on for several years now. And it's always a work in progress. It's not something that you just learn one day and you're just good forever. You always have to be constantly checking up on yourself, checking up on what it is that you're consuming. How is it affecting you? Is it actually helping you in any way? Is it distracting you from other more important things? So, if I had to recommend some ways to have a more healthy media diet, I would say that you should be reading lots of good books. You should be learning how to understand sources and double check the articles you read, especially when it comes to anything that's based on data and statistics. I would recommend that you, at least every once in a while, clear your watch history, your cookies, and maybe go a bit without your watch history even turned on. And try to keep your algorithms from getting stale. You should have healthy limits to how much screen time you're getting. That's purely from an entertainment sense, aka not counting time doing work or school stuff or anything essential, just the entertainment stuff. Try to put a limit on that and use that saved screen time to do other things. You don't have to hear every single side 100% of the time, but you definitely should not be shying away from diversity of thought. I think people are afraid it will make them change their opinions in like a negative way. But if one little alternative view makes you jump ship that fast, then maybe you weren't as firm in your beliefs in the first place. Sometimes it's good to have your mind changed on things because you aren't always right in the first place. And now you can learn something new. Sometimes what ends up happening is that you will not change your opinions, but rather you'll have a better understanding of why you believe that in the first place. You can defend your position better, and you can truly know what your opposition thinks and be certain why you're not on their side, which means you're becoming a better and more knowledgeable debater because you allowed that diversity of thought. I think you should be engaging with content that helps your self development, but not to a point where you become obsessed with the content rather than making any moves. I hope that this gave you a little something to think about. I know I was kind of all over the place. It was just all popping into my head all at once of different ways that not analyzing your media diet can have negative effects. And I don't know if the structure of this really made much sense, but I really hope that you walked away with something to think about, and maybe it gave you an idea of places where you can change things and implement healthier habits because it really will make all the difference. You want to walk away from your time spent online feeling a sense of clarity and relaxation rather than walking away feeling more confused, even more stressed, or just feeling like you need another round to relax you because isn't that what it was supposed to do in the first place? Anyway, just something to think about. Bye.